the day for mercimek köfte. Lentil köfte that is originally and naturally vegan and so delicious. Here we have 2 cups of red lentils. It could be yellow, it could be like there are pinkish versions. All good. I'm just gonna rinse it. This is 2 cups, double the size. If you're like single or living as 2 people, you can do half the recipe. Now we have 2 cups of lentils. I'm going to put twice 4 cups of water. Water a little more, a little less is not important, it's okay. We turn the heat on. Just a bit of salt, that's it. We're gonna add the salt a little later. I put the lid on with a bit of opening on the side. Why? When it boils, I don't want it to boil over, so the lentils are gonna grow in size and then crack, and it's gonna be like a thick soup, and that's what we want. And this is gonna take about 20 to 25 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to have my green morning juice looking at the Bosphorus. Okay, as you can see, it became like a thick soup. We turn the heat off. Ideally, we let this sit for 5 minutes until it cools a bit. Why? If we make the bulgur directly in, the bulgur is gonna cook too much. And if it cooks too much, it's gonna be more mushy. But what I want a thick and stiff köfte. So I let this cool down for 5 minutes and then continue. Now the mercimek is warm. With the warmth, the bulgur is gonna soak the water, expand. It's gonna become a thicker köfte. If we did this while the lentil was really hot, then the bulgur would expand faster, but it's gonna lose its consistency and thickness to hold everything together, and it would be a looser köfte. Now, this is gonna sit for a while with the lid on. And we're going to prepare the thing that is going to give the bulgur and the mercimek its extra taste. The number 1 help will come from 2 onions. I'm going to dice the onions first. Now I'm going to put 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil first. We're gonna need more olive oil because bulgur love its olive oil, but I don't want to heat it all up, so I'm just gonna use this much for the onions and the tomato and pepper paste. Now, raw onion is nice, but when the onion starts to cook, it's gonna take its sugar out and it's gonna have some moist, little pillows of moist in the köfte, which is gonna be lovely. By the way, I got your message. We are not going to do any AI dub, at least for a while.
We might do it for French and German or something.
But for English, it's you and me, guys, don't worry. And I have to tell you the truth. Some of these recipes are the recipes that I've done in the Turkish channel, but sometimes making it again for you guys is so much fun. I find out different things about the food while I'm trying to tell you guys. I feel much better to wake up and do a video for you, so I didn't want to do the dub anyhow, so I have to tell you. Anyways, I did put a bit of salt because while anything is cooking, adding a bit of salt helps the taste to grow. The onion is still very strong, hitting me in the eyes. 2 or 3 minutes later, it's gonna start to brown on the sides. Then I'm going to add the other things. Spring onions. Spring onions are great to increase the taste of the food. So what we do, there's the white parts and the green parts. White parts are a little stronger, so I'm going to slice them a little thinner and slice the green parts a little thicker, like this. You might say, oh Refika, raw onions are too strong for me. What we do, we're gonna knead it, and when we knead it, the intensity decreases a bit, making it really flamboyant and in taste-wise variant. I thinly slice my parsley as well, and everything's almost ready. As you can see, the onions are softer and instead of burning me in the eyes, started to smell really tasty. Now it's time to add the tomato paste and the pepper paste. Tomato paste we use a lot. Why? because it's umami. The ripe tomato in itself carries a lot of umami. What is umami? Making the other four tastes, sweet, salty, sour, and bitter, better. Tomato paste, pepper paste, if you don't have it in your life, please get it, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan. It makes everything taste much better without guilt. We have to wake the tomato and pepper paste a bit, and to do that, I am beating it together with the onions. This is done. Now, I'm going to let this cool. Normally I would take it outside, but outside is as hot as inside. So what I'm going to do, wet a cloth. Why did I do this?
For it not to slip.
Yeah. I have a tray, the biggest one you can. This is called KÖFTE raw meatball tray with a bigger surface area, but you don't need to have this. Any tray would do, or a cup would do. For it to not slide, have a damp cloth. I want to show you this, guys. As you can see, the consistency is really good, like this. And we taste it a bit. I don't taste any raw cracking bulgur. As this cooled down, to the lentils, I add the cooled onion and pastes. There's still goodness in the pan, so I'm taking it with a little bit of lentil like this. This is important. This oil is good. There's taste there. Lentil sponge. And then a tablespoon of cumin. Cumin is really important. The intensity sometimes differs. I put a tablespoon. If yours is a little less strong, put more. A teaspoon of black pepper. And I'm going to put a bit of salt, but depending on your tomato and pepper paste, first you knead it and then taste it. We knead it now. Kneading is gathering it everything on one side and then pushing it with your hands like this. Started to smell amazing. The nice thing about this is after kneading for a while, have a little taste. A bit of salt. I'm going to put a bit more cumin.
How much meat to eat?
Because it's lentil, it's easier, just 2 minutes. And I add a bit more olive oil. I mean, not a bit more, a lot more olive oil. Because bulgur loves the olive oil. And it is almost done. The word köfte means is to mash and to bash. So kneading is basically what we're doing. We're pushing the taste of the lentil to bulgur, bulgur to lentil, and every other thing all together. And so nice. Take it with your hand if it's all coming like this. And in this case, it's really nice. It's ready. Now it's time to add the greens. Greens are, first of all, spring onions. Kneading a bit more before adding the parsley. Killing the first intensity of the spring onions for a minute. At this point, if you like hot stuff, you can put paprika or red flake pepper. Then here comes a lot of parsley. Normally you wouldn't be able to eat this much parsley, but with this köfte, it is so easy. So our köfte is ready. Really good. But if you think that this is over, no. What we're gonna do, we put some green lettuce at the bottom. Then we make our köftes. If your hands get sticky at some point, put a bit of water and time to time dip your hand in the water, rinse the excess water off, and then continue shaping the köfte. At least for 10 köftes it's gonna go. So as you can see, we have more than 50-60 köftes. While eating it, we put a bit of lemon on top and wrap it with the lettuce and then eat it together. So many greens, some protein from the lentils and carb from the bulgur. If you say, Refika, it's too much effort squeezing it, another idea is put a big bowl in the middle of the lettuce and then each person in the house who wants to eat it can take it with their hands, wrap it with the lettuce and eat it that way. Third thing, Refika, it's so nice, but I want to make it a bit cooler and more modern. We have a version for that as well. We can do something like this, a more modern way. We can do that by making it round balls and then dipping it into red pepper, some parsley or sesame, and they will look really nice.
Can you eat it just like a salad?
And Bahar suggests it's a good idea is eating it just like a salad from the middle, or if it's too much work to make a lot of balls, make big balls like this. And if you say, Refika, I want to eat this hot, you can also make eat balls like this and fry it in the air fryer or on the pan and eat it with a bit of yogurt, and that would be, again, marvelous. So that's it on the mercimek köftesi. Please, please try it. It's heavenly. If I move to America and make a small restaurant chain, I would either make a kısır chain or a mercimek köfte chain with versions of this. And I know that it's gonna sell like crazy. Take care. As you can see, our mercimek köftes are very bereketli, very sustainable. Like we ate probably 10, 15. We have this whole thing together with the fancy ones and so much, and so tasty.